This room has a hearing loop, and Rossmore has 10 other locations with hearing loops. If you have a telecoil in your hearing instrument, and I use the term hearing instrument because it's inclusive. It's hearing aids, cochlear implants, and bone conductive devices. Now, many of you may not have ever heard of a bone conductive device, and that's what it's similar to a cochlear implant, and it's what they give you if you have conductive hearing loss, which is in your middle ear. So the little bones in the middle ear don't work right to send the sound onto your cochlea. Okay, so does everybody in here know whether they have a telecoil in their hearing instrument? Okay, is there anybody who does not? Is there anybody in this room who does not know what a telecoil is? Okay. So normally one cannot tell just by looking at your hearing instrument if you have a telecoil. And many hearing instruments have telecoils, but they don't tell their patients. Now, I don't know you. And so do you have a remote control on your smartphone for your hearing instrument? Okay, so open up your remote control and look and see if you have anything there that says telecoil. Telecoil and mic. Okay, so I would never purchase a hearing instrument without a telecoil. If you do not have that, you cannot easily connect to assistive listening systems that are mandated by law. So if I was in anybody's shoes here who doesn't have one, and their hearing healthcare provider did not tell you about telecoils, I would go raise holy hell. And I may even go so far as to ask them to provide you with a different hearing instrument. I know somebody who got hearing instruments from Costco. They were not told about a telecoil, and they'd had them, maybe like a year and a half. And when they found out about telecoils, they went and complained to the manager, and they replaced their hearing aids with one that had a telecoil. So don't be intimidated. And if you are, hearing loss is a journey, and we're here to help. So there are other people here who've been in the same situation that you've been in, and we're here to hold your hand as you learn how to exercise your advocacy muscle. Okay, so it's 10 o'clock. So we're going to go ahead and start. And I'd like everybody in the room to know we're using a brand new microphone today. So I don't know if you have realized, but we've had problems with this ear set microphone that we've been using from the room. And we got tired of it, and we decided to bite the bullet, and we bought one for our meetings out of our chapter funds. And so this is the first time we're testing it, and we want to make sure that it works well enough, and everybody who's in the audience likes the sound. So I'm getting thumbs up from people. Perfect. So that's the whole point, right? We have to hear and we have to understand, and this has better clarity. I'd like to remind everybody that since this room has a public address system and a hearing loop assistive listening system, every single person has to speak into the microphone. And there's a little bit of a trick in speaking into the microphone. And for those of you who are here on Zoom, I'm going to move away from my video camera to show the people in the room how to use the microphone. So it's kind of like licking an ice cream cone. So you want the microphone below your lips so that other people can lip read you, but you need to be close enough that you're getting this top part of the microphone. Okay, so there's a tendency, When you see newscasters on TV and, they have these microphones like this, well, the microphones that they're using are $5,000 microphones or, maybe more. So I can guarantee these microphones are not $5,000 microphones. So you just need to do this. Okay. And if it's not right, we'll tell you to push it up or pull it in. We'll help you figure out how to use the microphone. Oh. And actually, there may be people who are on Zoom who don't really know how to use a microphone with a hearing loop. It's like this, right below your chin and the top of the microphone facing your lips. So this year, it turns out that we've embarked on a series of programs, and we've been calling it Hearing Loss 101, and each session has built on the session before it. And so this is part 3, and in the session today, we want to make sure at the end of this meeting that every single person knows that there are captions that are available for cell phone calls. You can also use the app that you're going to learn about today on your laptop or your tablet to make phone calls, and they all have captions. So it is a real boon to all of us to be able to think that we may be able to use the telephone again.
I don't see captions.
Oh, I don't see captions either. Are there captions on Zoom, Ellen? Oh, that's weird. Zoom made all of these new updates to, let's see what happens if we get out of here. Okay, so are the captions here? The captions aren't on my screen, right?
They're on Zoom.
So then it goes to auto captions.
They're all there now.
But I don't think that, I'm not sure that those are the one from the captioner.
Because they got the 2 arrows next to it.
Perfect, thank you. Okay. Since I got my cochlear implants, oh, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Ann Thomas and I'm the president of the chapter. And Zohair Chibiz, our vice president, he's back there. Jim Schroeder and Gay Richardson are right there, and they're both advocates. And this is Alan Katsura, our secretary. So my cochlear implants were so successful that people didn't realize I could have problems in some situations again. And it was always surprising to me. I'm doing so well, and then all of a sudden I have a problem. So I realized, oh, something we all share? We all have uncertain lives. We never know when we're going to be able to understand and when we won't. And we all tend to think positively and to think that we're doing better or worse with our hearing loss. So I'm encouraging everybody not to think about how well you do on your best day. I want you to think of how well you do on your worst day and ask for the communication access that you need based on that. Because if you do not, and you get to a situation where you can't understand, then it's too late to get the help that you need. Understanding on the telephone can be difficult, even with Bluetooth. Is there anybody in this room who does not have the capability of being able to connect to your cell phone via Bluetooth? Just raise your hand. Okay, so we have 1. So that means the majority of people can do that. So being able to connect to your phone with Bluetooth is a miracle for most of us. I mean, it's like how can we hear this well again on the phone? But then again, all of a sudden we get a bad connection. There's static. Somebody has an accent, or some people really do speak softly. And all of a sudden we're in a position where we can't understand with the Bluetooth. So that's the amazing, wonderful part of having a captioning cell phone app, because you can connect via Bluetooth, use your Bluetooth, but at the same time, you can have the captions running on your cell phone screen. And if you happen to need them, you could read it. You also have the option, which I'm sure our presenter is going to tell you about, of seeing both sides of the conversation. And I don't want to give away all of Matt's presentation, but I'd like people to know why that may be important. So if you are like me, you don't realize that you didn't understand something until some time went by or somebody said something else, and all of a sudden you're going, wow, what they just said didn't sound like what I answered. So you're able to quickly scroll up and see what they said. If you weren't looking at it, you can see your answer, and then you have an opportunity to say, oh my gosh, I really didn't understand that. I answered that inappropriately, answer it correctly, and go on with the conversation. So I'd like the people in the room to raise their hands if they use captions to make phone calls. 1, 2, 3. Oh, so maybe a third of the people in the room. So that gives us an idea about, that gives me and also our presenter. Oops. Yes, we have a question.
About captions. Do you have to delete them? Do you have to delete them afterwards, or can you delete them, or do they automatically go away, or what?
Ask Matt that question.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm very happy today to introduce you to Matt Goncalves. And he works for a company called InnoCaption, which is a premier cell phone captioning app company. And like many of the premier wonderful apps and devices and technology that we have, the founders are deeply embedded in our hearing loss community. Joe Duarte, one of the founders, has hearing loss just like us. And his motivation was he wasn't doing well on the phone. So he wanted to develop an app that he was able to understand what was happening on the phone and be able to participate better in meetings and things. Okay. So Matt, I think it's you can share.
All right, let me give it a go. I'm just pulling it up, Ann. All right,
There we go. Perfect.
great.
Yep.
Well, before I get started, and thank you so much for that wonderful intro. Of all the HLAA chapters, you are probably the only one that can say my last name the right way. So thank you so very much. Most people, I just tell to not worry about it and just stick with Matt. But, and again, you did such a wonderful job introing InnoCaption. I feel like we can skip half the presentation, but I am very excited to be speaking with you guys today. At the end, towards the end of the presentation, I have a couple new things to share, and you guys are going to literally be the first group to know about them. One of the things that I'm going to mention just got released today. So again, very excited to be here. Thanks for bringing me in, and I'm very happy to be part of the presentation that you guys are putting together. All right, I'm gonna get started. This is me, like Ann mentioned. My name is Matt Goncalves, and today I am the Senior Director of Marketing and Partnerships at InnoCaption. If you guys hear a little bit of an accent, that's because I was born in Brazil. And fast forward to 2010, the main reason why I'm working at InnoCaption today are these three individuals on your screen. On the left, like Ann mentioned, that is Joe Duarte, our co-CEO. Joe is also my father-in-law. Christina, to my left, now my wife, is our Senior Director of Regulatory Affairs. And Mag, Joe's wife, was also born with profound hearing loss. So until I met Christina, Joe, and Mag, I can't say I had a connection to the hard of hearing world. But today, let's fast forward to 2015 after I married Christina, and 2016, we helped launch InnoCaption. So this has been my life for literally the last 10 years, and I couldn't be happy to be sharing InnoCaption with you guys today. This is how the presentation is going to go. If anyone has any questions, I will leave my information at the end. We'll have a Q&A, but if anything comes up, if you guys are trying out InnoCaption, if you have questions, if you have issues, do not hesitate. Please contact me at any point. But let's get started with InnoCaption. If you guys are not familiar with our app, what we do is provide real-time captioning for incoming and outgoing calls on your cell phone. If you're familiar with the landline phones like Caption Call and CapTel, the idea is similar. We're also funded by the FCC, which is what makes InnoCaption available at no cost. But I will share what makes us special and different from all of the other captioning services. Now, one thing to notice, I love saying this, I put this presentation together at the beginning of last year, and you guys can see on the bottom where it says over 5,000 five-star reviews. Today, in 2026, we're actually over 10,000 five-star reviews. So we are growing, and a lot of it has to do with Anne and HLAA and us connecting with you guys. Now, I mentioned that InnoCaption is free, and I will say it again, we are funded by the FCC. If you have hearing loss and you live in the United States, you can download our app and use InnoCaption as much as you want without having to pay for it. Because we're funded by the FCC, we also are audited every single year, which makes us very private and secure. And we're one of the few apps that are actually HIPAA compliant as well. This is actually our team during one of our monthly management meetings. Paul, the person that's being focused on the right side today, is our COO. Paul's dad, Joseph Lee, is our other co-CEO. Joseph is actually the reason why we're all here today. He's the one that thought of InnoCaption. He's the one that fought to have InnoCaption certified by the FCC. And we were all so lucky that Joseph and Joe met at a conference almost 20 years ago at this point. And Joseph was demoing the InnoCaption app. Technology back then was different than what it is today, but Joe still made a call to Christina, my wife, and to this day, Christina says it was the very first time that she couldn't tell that Joe was using a captioning service. That's why he fell in love with the service that InnoCaption provided. Now, in this slide, it also says that we are a team of 40 plus. Again, I put this together last year. I have to update this because we're now close to 50 employees. So again, it's really nice to see the growth. A little bit about the technology. I'm going to share the main features of InnoCaption, and then I'll go into some of the things that we're excited about to discuss with you guys. Now, the key thing that makes InnoCaption special is that we're the only company providing the captioning through a live stenographer. We have a real person typing what's being said. When we launched in 2016, we only had stenographers, but then we heard from our users that they would also like the option to use automatic speech recognition, also known as AI. So today, InnoCaption users can choose how they receive the captions. Again, we are the only company giving users the option to select how they want to receive the captions. And if you guys start a call using AI and you're not happy with the captions, with InnoCaption, you can push a button in the middle of a call and go from AI to stenographer back and forth as many times as you need to. Now, if you don't know what a stenographer is, that's why I have this picture here. This is actually one of our many stenographers. If you've seen a TV show or a movie in a courtroom with a person typing and typing really fast, that's what we have with the InnoCaption app. Stenographers are highly, highly trained. They have to go to school. They have to pass a test to become certified stenographers. Our stenographers type on average 220 words per minute. Just out of curiosity, I tried to do a speed test. I thought I was a fast typer. Mine came out 86 words per minute. So our stenographers, they do a little bit better than I do when it comes to typing. One great advantage of having stenographers on the call is if you're calling someone using a stenographer and on the other end of the call, a doorbell rings or a dog barks, if a child is laughing, our stenographers are able to put in parentheses what's going on to give our users a little bit more context of the conversation. Now, both stenographers and AI, they are confidential, they are secure and private, but I'll go into privacy in a little bit. Now, AI, as you guys are aware, it keeps getting better and better and better. It is very fast. But like I mentioned, you're only going to get the transcript verbatim. There's no context. But we have users that still prefer to make calls using AI. We have users that prefer to make calls using stenographers. Going back to Joe, my father-in-law, our co-CEO, Joe is the person that pushed for the switch in the middle of a call. And our engineers didn't really understand why he wanted that feature. And then Joe told us that he was tired of calling banks and airlines, places where in the beginning of a call, when you're talking to a computer, AI works really, really well. But then you're transferred to an actual human being. And if that person is overseas, if they have an accent, AI stops working. So Joe had to hang up, keep calling back until he found somebody that spoke clearly enough for AI to be able to caption. So he turned to our engineers and said, hey, I would like the option to switch between AI and stenographer as many times as I need on a call. And if I need something like this, again, Joe was born with profound hearing loss. His assumption is that a lot of InnoCaption users would like this feature as well. And they do. It is one of the things that makes us special today. Now, a little bit about privacy. I know with AI and the way things are going today, everybody is a little bit more cognizant of privacy issues. So again, with InnoCaption, we are funded by the FCC. Our stenographers, they have to go through background checks. They sign confidentiality agreements. And every year, our legal team does an extensive compliance training with them. Again, my wife, Christina, our Senior Director of Regulatory Affairs, is a big part of that process. I always get questions when I mention stenographers about how much access they have during calls. And let's go back to the example of me making a call with InnoCaption using a stenographer. That stenographer only hears what the person I'm calling is saying so they can type it back to me. Our stenographers do not have access to both sides of the conversation. They do not hear what you're saying. If two InnoCaption users are calling each other and they're both opting to use stenographers, they will each have their own person captioning. Now, switching to AI, automatic speech recognition. I want to stress that our engine does not log any call audio. We do not do any machine learning. And mention the ability to review the conversation after you hang up or even during the call. We at InnoCaption do not have access to the transcript. That's why we give our users many ways to either save or share the transcripts. And lastly, again, that's what I wanted to say. I guess I was ahead of myself, but worth reiterating, only you, the InnoCaption user, will have access to the transcript at the end of the call. They are saved locally on your phone. I like to say that the only time that our customer support team is not able to help an InnoCaption user is when they tell us that they lost a transcript. Now, you guys are able to upload it to the cloud. You can text it to yourself. You can even email transcripts to yourselves after the call. So again, there's several different ways to ensure that the transcript stays saved on your phone. Another question that we get, and a little bit more when we first launched, was, will I be able to use my own cell phone? And with InnoCaption, it's user choice. When you first download the app, you're going to be given your InnoCaption number. That number's area code is going to match your native cell phone number, but then the ending will be different. With InnoCaption, you can select which number shows up when you make an outgoing call. And this is not something that you have to do every single time you make a call. You can just select your preference, and then every time you use the app to call someone, they will either see your native cell phone number or your new InnoCaption number. If you use your own cell phone number, which a majority of our users do, and you're using InnoCaption to call someone, if they already have your contact saved on their phone, all they're seeing is you calling them. Nothing shows that you're using InnoCaption to make that call. Now, for incoming calls, again, it's user choice. If you're someone that struggles to understand all of your cell phone calls, you can set up call forwarding. If you do, every time someone calls you on your regular number, that call will be automatically forwarded to the InnoCaption app. So with a couple settings, tweaks, you do not have to disclose that you're using InnoCaption if you do not want to. This is how the caller ID shows up when making a call. This is actually Joe calling me, and I took a screenshot to show you guys. Now, the ability to review transcript. I think we've already mentioned it a couple times, but I just wanted to show you guys what the transcript looks like. Anne already previewed it. She mentioned you guys are able to see both sides of the conversation, but that is also user choice. On a call, if you only want to see what the other side is saying, you can select to hide your speech. If you want to see what you're saying, you can say, show my captions. Again, user choice. You can toggle it on and off as many times as you want to during a call. Now, if you look at the phone on your screen, on the bottom where it says share, if you click that after you hang up, you're able to text the transcript or email the transcript to yourself. If you don't want to do that, you can hit lock, and that transcript will be indefinitely saved on your InnoCaption app. Or you can also delete the transcript, or you can block that person that just called you by going into the transcript of the call as well. Another feature that we just redesigned recently is our voicemail system. If you have an iPhone, it is very similar to how it works with iPhone users, where if someone calls you and leaves you a message, you don't have to listen to that entire message if you don't want to. The transcript of the voicemail, it's going to be there available for you. But what I like to tell our users is that our team went a step further. If you go into your InnoCaption voicemail, you look at the transcript and you're not happy with the captions, you can push a button and have that voicemail retranscribed by one of our stenographers. And one thing that we don't mention a lot, but it's worth knowing, InnoCaption is also available for secondary languages. Now, it is not a translation service, but if both parties are speaking in that same language, we're able to provide captioning for over 20 languages at this point. And if you go in the InnoCaption app and you look at our list of secondary languages and you see something that's missing that you'd like for us to add, again, I will leave you with my information. Let me know. I will pass that feedback to our engineers. A few months ago, I was on the road. I was talking to an audiologist, and she told me that she was seeing more patients from Ukraine. We did not have Ukrainian in the app back then, and then 3 months later, we do have it today. So again, if you're looking for specific language and it's not available currently, let me know. I'm happy to share that with our team. Anne also mentioned this, but we just redesigned InnoCaption Web. If you don't want to use your cell phone for a call, or if you know you're going into a long call and you don't want to hold the phone for a very long time, you can go on the InnoCaption website, log into InnoCaption Web. InnoCaption Web is basically the web browser version of the InnoCaption app. As you guys can see on your screen with InnoCaption Web, you can get bigger and more customizable captions. Like I mentioned, it does make for a more comfortable experience. And the cool thing about InnoCaption Web is that you're able to use it to dial into any remote meeting that has a dial-in number. So a Zoom call, a Google Meets call, a Teams call, you can use that dial-in number, copy paste it in the InnoCaption Web browser, and you'll have access to that call through the InnoCaption app as well. Now, okay, before I go into the next couple slides, I just went over the main features. The next ones that I'm going to share with you guys are things that I haven't really shared with anybody. So if you have any questions, if you need help using any of the things that I'm about to mention to you guys, contact me. We are in the process of creating help center articles and tutorial videos as well. But the first one, and one that I'm very excited to tell you guys, for 10 years, well, not for 10 years, I would say for 5 years now, when someone is first introduced to the InnoCaption app, one of the questions that I first get is, okay, can I use InnoCaption for FaceTime? And we had to tell them no, FaceTime is a propriety of Apple iPhone. We weren't able to touch it. So our team developed InnoCaption Video Calls. It just became available today in the App Store. It works just like FaceTime, but with InnoCaption captioning. It will be available at no cost for people with hearing loss in the United States. So if you have any questions, let me know. I'm happy to share more information on our new, it's a separate app from InnoCaption, but it will work very similar to how the app is today. The other new feature that we have, we are trying to make InnoCaption even more accessible to those that have hearing loss. For those that can't voice for themselves, we recently introduced text-to-speech. And on top of that, a few months ago, we also added to the app what's called AI Refine, like you see on your screen. With AI Refine, for our users that prefer to use text-to-speech, if they don't want to type a full message, they can type 1 or 2 words, click that little AI Refine button on the call, and the app will spit out a full sentence. What we've seen is that with Refine, it does make for smoother conversations for text-to-speech users. It is a little bit more seamless where they just don't have to type as much. My wife, Christina, got sick very recently and she lost her voice for 3 days. And one way that we were able to call each other was through InnoCaption. She was using text-to-speech, AI Refine, and it worked amazingly well. There's currently 8 different voice types for male, for females, and we're trying to add more as well. SnapCap is another product that our team is in the process of launching. SnapCap is a CART booking system. So if you're going into a meeting, if you're trying to set up a meeting and you're having a hard time finding a stenographer to caption that meeting, with SnapCap, you will also be able to do that now. And the last one, we do not currently have a landline phone solution like Caption Call, CapTel. What our team is working on is a device called Bridge that can be attached to any desktop phone, like a VoIP phone, a Cisco phone. And then you download the Bridge app on an iPad or a cell phone, and any call that comes into that landline phone will be captioned through the Bridge app. So those last 4 things that I just mentioned to you guys, it's literally the first time that I'm mentioning it in an HLAA presentation. So again, InnoCaption Video Call is now available. Text-to-speech AI Refine is something that we launched about a couple months ago, and we're very happy to make the app more accessible. SnapCap, you can book your own cart for meetings, and Bridge will be able to provide captioning for landline phones as well. If you'd like to follow us and see how we share news and features and updates, Instagram today is becoming that place where our team sends out updates. Of course, we have our monthly newsletter where we also share what's going on with us. Now, if you just want to follow InnoCaption for the fun of it, we've recently brought in Rob, a 22-year-old TikTok influencer who has helped InnoCaption get 100,000 followers on TikTok. And the stuff that he's doing at the office is amazing. The one thing Rob doesn't do on TikTok is share news about InnoCaption, but you get to see the team. Rob is doing pranks at the office. You'll get to see the engineers. You get to see upper management getting pranked by a 22-year-old. So Instagram, TikTok, we're also on YouTube where we have our tutorial playlist, over 30 videos with the main features, videos that are between 30 and 45 seconds explaining every single feature of the app. Now, before I finish the presentation, one thing that I love sharing with you guys. I've been at InnoCaption for 10 years, and I've seen the positive impact that the app has had on Joe and Mag and many other people. But then I started talking to healthcare professionals, and they started asking for actual data to back that up. And we said, okay, we were lucky to connect with Dr. Weinstein and Dr. Salvucci. They helped us put a survey study together. And it was basically trying to determine what happens with an InnoCaption user after 3 months. We asked them questions. At bottom line, before InnoCaption, they expressed a 7.1 average when it came to making calls between no effort and maximum effort. So pretty high up. That's how they felt without captioning during call. And then they downloaded InnoCaption, became new InnoCaption users. We waited 3 months to go back and ask them that same question. How do you feel now making calls on your cell phone? And in just 3 months, we saw that average go down to a 3.6. Dr. Weinstein went a step further, and she also found that with InnoCaption, again, just 3 months of it, our users were seeing a 49% decrease in their listening effort and a 55% decrease in their listening fatigue. Meaning, with captioning on the cell phone, calls just became much, much easier for them. I have the QR for the full paper if you guys want to check it out, or you can just email me and I'm happy to share the PDF with you as well. Now, I know I covered a ton, and if you guys have any questions, this is my personal email. It's pretty simple. It's just Matt, M-A-T-T, @InnoCaption.com. If you have issues with InnoCaption, we also have an amazing support team that will be there to help you. My brother-in-law is a part of our support team. Our head of support, Justine, has been with InnoCaption for almost 10 years as well. Everybody that is providing help to our users are working with us for the same reason that I am, to see a positive impact in your lives. I love having this picture here when I tell people that we're listening because, again, this is Paul, our COO, helping one of our users, Gail. Gail lives in California, and she was having issues with her Bluetooth connectivity between her hearing aid devices and her InnoCaption app. Instead of having a million back and forths with Gail, Paul invited her to the office. We sat her down with our engineering team, and we figured out a way to fix the issue. So again, there's a couple different ways to contact us. If you have questions, if you have issues, my email is there. Our support email is there. If you need brochures, if you need more information about the app, you can also email us at marketing@InnoCaption.com. But at the end of the day, if you try it out and things are not going the way that you want them to be, let us know, because we're always interested in learning how we can make the app better for everyone. But with that being said, I'm going to open up for the Q&A. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and let me know if you guys have any questions.
Thanks, Matt. Oh my gosh, the new features that are coming out on InnoCaption for me, I'm really excited. I can't wait to download them on my cell phone as soon as I leave the meeting. So we're
Awesome.
opening up questions to people on Zoom, and in Zoom, please raise your hand. And Alan Katsura monitors the Zoom, and we'll call on you in order. And in the room here, Jim Schroeder has a microphone and he's taking it to people to ask questions. Please go ahead.
Question is, are your live stenographers available 24/7 and what time zone are they
So
working?
yes, they are available 24/7. Our FCC certification says we have to have stenographers 24/7. And one of the main reasons why that is if you need to make an emergency call, a 911 call, no matter what time of the day it is, that call is initiated through a stenographer. Now, you're not forced to keep the stenographer during an emergency call. You can switch to AI. But if someone is calling 911, that call will always be initiated through a stenographer. Time zone, we have them all over the US. We have some even outside of the US. I believe we have one in Australia now to help us with different time zones. But basically, 24/7, there will be a stenographer there. Now, if you try to make a call and the stenographers are all busy, it does happen sometimes. The call will still go out, but it will be initiated through AI. And as soon as a stenographer becomes available, they come on the line and they take over that call without stopping anything.
I just have one last question. I'm trying to download your app and I stopped because it said they wanted my phone number. So I want to be sure that it's a secure site and that I'm not going into a fake.
Yes, if you have questions, email me. You can send me screenshots. We can confirm that you're looking at the right thing. Now, if you downloaded InnoCaption and you open it up for the first time, we do walk you through the registration on your phone. And we will ask for certain information, like you mentioned. We need to make sure that you are an eligible users. We don't want anyone using InnoCaption. That's why we ask for certain things, again, to make sure that you're someone with hearing loss in the United States. Now, I am happy to connect anyone with Christina, our Director of Regulatory Affairs. Again, I know how critical privacy is these days. Christina is very aware of that as well. So don't hesitate. If you have any issues during the registration, let us know.
We have another question in the room. And can you go ahead and stand up?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Hi, Matt. I'm an attorney in California, and we're a two-party consent state. Even though this isn't technically a recording, people can save it. I'm wondering if the person who's being called is being notified that their call is being transcribed.
Yes, they are not. Again, it goes back to our certification with the FCC. Our users do not have to disclose. We have templates that we can share. I am getting more and more questions about two-party consents. Christina already has language to let people know why we're able to use InnoCaption and not have to disclose. So email me after this and I will connect with Christina and she can go a little bit deeper into why that is.
Okay, thank you.
Of course.
Do we have any questions in Zoom?
I see John's hand up. John, you're muted.
There we go. I've been using InnoCaption for several years, totally satisfied with it. I'm a disciple, if there is such a thing. I use it exclusively, but I've known several people that are using Apple's proprietary, I don't even know what it's called, Apple Chat, or it's a speech to text program that's built right into the iPhone. Can you compare that to InnoCaption?
Yes, absolutely. And that's another thing that we're hearing more and more about. Both Apple and Android has live captioning in their app. Now, again, what makes us special is the fact that we're the only company with a live stenographer. So the captioning that's available right now for Apple is AI based. If you're talking to someone like me that tries to speak slowly and clearly, it does seem to do a good job. But if you're in a loud environment or you're talking to somebody that has a different speech pattern, it tends to not work as well depending on the situation. At the end of the day, everyone at InnoCaption, and I don't say this just to say this, but It is wonderful to see these companies pushing for more accessibility options because it is very much needed. But it's our bread and butter. It's what we've done. It's all we know how to do. I can't say the same thing about other companies providing captioning. They are providing accessibility, but is that all that they do? Us here at InnoCaption, we pay a little bit more attention. We're always asking our users how we can do things better as well. Does that answer your question, John? Yeah, awesome. Okay.
Sherry Perizzoli, my friend, hi.
Hello there. Hello. Hi, Matt.
Hi, Sherry.
Really glad to see this presentation. You did a great job today, and I'm really excited, like Ann, about the new features. So we just got a call on our Hope meeting last week, and someone asked the question. They said, well, I'm using InnoCaption, but the people on the other end of the line can't hear me. So, they said we had the opposite problem. Now, I didn't know how to solve that for her at that time. I'm thinking it's something to do is a Bluetooth setting or something like maybe what you were just showing with Gail a few minutes ago. But anyway, so that's one of the answers I'd like to be able to help people with.
Yeah. Yeah. And Sherry, I wish I could tell you there's just one thing that impacts audio. There's not. There is a million things that can impact audio quality. Connectivity is a big one. If this person is using a weak Wi-Fi, it can be something as simple as just rebooting their router if they're connected to Wi-Fi. If they're using LTE, do they have enough bars to be making calls? Now, with that being said, please feel free to tell this person to connect with me, and I will connect them with our support team. It always helps if they're able to write down the time and the day that the issue happened, because then our engineers can go in the system, our support team can see what's making those things happen. Audio issues happen every now and then. It could be something on the native phone that has nothing to do with the InnoCaption app. So if you're willing to share a little bit more information about the person that you were talking with, I am happy to ask our support team to look into the issue.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. That's great to know. And so we'll certainly be passing that information on, and just so happy for the service and the dedication and the work that Joe and Meg and you and Christina put into it. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your kind words. And this goes to everyone. You might find the app misbehaving every now and then. Don't give up on it. You guys have my email. You have our supporting email. Let us know how we can do better. Anytime that you're not happy with InnoCaption, 99% of the time there is a fix. All we need to do is let us know so we can help you guys too.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. We'll take you up on that.
Please do.
So I want everybody to know Sherry Perizzoli is the president of HLAA Washington State Association. And they have, Sherry, is it monthly or weekly HOPE meetings? Oh, so they have monthly HOPE meetings. And in our chapter, we don't have those. And so what they are is the format is set up that every single person is able to speak, and they talk about an issue or a problem that they're having. And they go around the room and everybody says what's happening with them before anybody else can comment. And after everybody has had an opportunity to speak, then if anybody has a suggestion for possibly how they might be able to solve the issue that they're having, or just to receive empathy, that they know what it's like to feel like that, you're able to respond. So this is a perfect example of a meeting that would be on the HLAA calendar, that if you wanted to participate in Washington State's HOPE meeting, you could do that.
And you're very welcome. And thanks for that plug, Ann. And we do have folks attend from all over the country. So we'd love to have you.
So I know there were some other questions in the room.
Yeah, my name's Julie. Thank you. Thank you, Matt, for being here. Very informative. I came by accident only, so I'm so happy. I already downloaded the app in my system. My question is, without knowing all the details, if I answer the phone and I'm not on the app itself, can I switch to InnoCaption in the middle of the conversation?
Oh my God, that's such a great question. And I wish I could tell you yes, but no. There are a couple different ways to receive calls as a new InnoCaption user. So if you're someone that wants captioning on every single call, you can go in the settings and set up call forwarding. That way, anytime someone calls you, that call will go automatically to the InnoCaption app. But I don't recommend doing it unless you are someone that needs captioning on every single call. When I first met Joe, his speech discrimination was around 60%. And then he got his second cochlear implant. And today he says his speech discrimination hovers between 80 and 90%. So he doesn't have call forwarding. When someone calls him, that call goes to his cell phone, he picks up. If he's not able to understand what that person is saying, he says, hey, let me call you right back. He hangs up, brings up the InnoCaption app. There's a very good chance that the person that called him already has his number saved on their phone. So when Joe calls back, that person is just seeing a regular call coming in. Again, nothing that really shows that Joe is using a captioning service. So there's a couple different ways. If things get confusing, let me know. We have tutorials on everything that I'm talking about here with you guys.
Julie, I have all of my calls forwarded to InnoCaption. Makes it just easier. I don't have to think about it. When I need it, it's there. If I don't need it, it's fine too. Or maybe you only need it for 2 sentences in a conversation, right? There's another question in the room here.
2 questions. What we're reading is transcribed. Is that AI or is that a live stenographer?
No, we have a live CART provider providing the captions today.
Okay.
And I know in the room, the captions today, for some reason that I don't know if it's our Wi-Fi here, are a little slow.
Yeah, it's 3.
So usually we don't have that. So I don't know what that's about.
And then the last question, how are you subsidized?
Great question. So again, we are funded by the government. What our funding comes from what it's called the Telecommunication Relay Service Fund, the TRS fund. All of us that have a cell phone, we're paying pennies into this fund. And that's what make us and a couple of other companies in our industry available at no cost. So next time you get your phone bill, flip it over, look at the bottom, very fine print. It has words about the TRS fund.
Anybody else in the room with any other questions?
Yes.
Oh, Jim has a question.
Yeah, I have a question, and that is, where are your offices located? Where are you
Yes.
physically?
Yeah. So when we first started InnoCaption, we were a very small team. There was about 5 or 6 of us. We had an office in both Northern Virginia, close to DC, and a small office in Brea, California. But now we've consolidated the team and we're all in Southern California. Our office is in Irvine, which is about an hour from LA.
But we know why you wanted to come to California.
The only reason why I'm not there in person with you guys, I'm in Nashville finishing up a conference. And from here, I go to Orlando for another conference. But I already told Anne, anytime she wants me in San Francisco, I know this is being recorded. I hope no one from the team sees it because these days, I don't even like being at the office. My favorite thing is going out and connecting with people, doing presentations. So again, I know we'll be coming out with more features throughout the year. And anytime you want me there, I will be there in person.
Great. We have a question on Zoom, I believe.
That's me.
Oh, no, it's Alan Katsura in the room has a question.
It's I could have switched over.
Oh, maybe it was in the chat.
No. Hi, Matt. So my question is with a video call. Okay, so like I don't have hearing loss. If a person calls me on the video, how would that work?
So for an InnoCaption user using and right now we're calling it InnoCaption Video Call. they can send a link to who they're calling. That person clicks on the link and they're automatically joined into the call. It's so seamless. I just tried it out yesterday and it blew my mind. Now, Alan, I don't have all the right answers right now because, again, this is just the first time that I'm talking about this. The app just became available in the App Store this morning. I got the email. I didn't have that slide, but then I saw the email and I was like, I'm going to talk to them about this. We are in the process of putting tutorials, help center, articles, FAQs. There will be more information on InnoCaption Video Call very soon.
Thank you.
Yeah, and always great seeing you.
So we have another question in the room.
I have a question about deleting the caps. And if you forget to delete it, does it affect the capacity of your phone to operate?
Yeah, no, not at all. InnoCaption is not a heavy app. I believe currently in the app, you're able to have 200 transcripts. If you don't delete them, eventually the older transcripts will be automatically removed to make room for newer ones. I can give you that right number if you'd like. I know the engineers are always making tweaks to the app, so I don't want to say you can have over 500, but it will not impact your cell phone at the end of the day. Yeah.
So Matt, I have a question. Just if someone didn't want to sign up on their cell phone because they didn't feel that their cell phone was secure enough, because I know that one of the questions that's asked is you're asked for your social security number, right? So they're verifying that you're an American, right? Can they go ahead and sign up on InnoCaption Web and be able, because they think that their laptop or their tablet is more secure than their phone, and then still use the app on their phone?
Yes, and that's such a great point. And one thing that I didn't mention during the presentation is that besides InnoCaption Web on the computer, you can also have InnoCaption on an Android tablet or on an iPad as well. So yes, and to your point, there are different methods of registering for the app. And if you're still unsure, if you're still not sold, or you want to hear from someone at InnoCaption, email me or email our support team and say, hey, can you guys help me with the registration? We work with our users on an on-demand basis. So just let us know if you have any questions, issues, if you don't believe that, maybe you think that this is too good to be true. I know that when we do ads on Facebook, 50% of the questions that we get on those ads are, is it free? Wait, is it really free? It's like, no, it can't be free. So I know that sometimes it can be too good to be true. Let us know how we can put your mind at ease.
Okay. Oh, another question.
Hi, Matt. Another legal question. I'm still concerned about the privacy issue. And it occurs to me, and I guess I'm a little paranoid about government spying these days. Wouldn't it be possible for someone to subpoena the copies of your transcripts if you save them? And if that's the case, would it be a good idea to delete any transcripts of conversations that you think might have sensitive material that you wouldn't want anyone to get a hold of?
I do not want to give you the wrong answer. I will say this is the first time that I got the subpoena question during a Q&A. So email me and I will connect you with Christina so she can give you the right answer. I definitely don't want to give you the wrong one when it comes to this.
Yeah, and you can email me too. My cards are here. Everybody, please take my card. I know sometimes in presentations, you lose somebody's email or it goes on the screen or whatever, and I can connect you with Matt and Christina.
Thanks, Ann.
Both.
Awesome.
Any more questions on Zoom? Okay, so Matt, thank you very much. As always, it's great to see you. And when Matt, I requested all of the brochures for us, which everybody in the room has received, and so simple, you just scan the QR code and you can have the app. Matt included a t-shirt in the order when he sent the brochures, and it was the warm day this week, right? So in the morning we were chilly, and when I received my mail in the afternoon, I was just taking my clothes off to get cooler. So the t-shirt went right on. It was really great. So
So
thanks
happy.
very much.
That makes
And
me
you're
so
welcome
happy.
to
And
stay. We have a few more announcements. We have some Q&A from last time. You're also free to go too. I just wanted you to know that you're welcome if you would like to stay.
thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm actually headed out to the conference. This worked out perfectly. So it's 1 p.m. here right now. You guys have my information. There were some great questions that I was not able to answer fully. Please don't hesitate. Come back to me by email so I can connect you guys with the right person. If anyone needs brochures, if you guys mention InnoCaption to your audiologist and they have questions, please feel free to tell them. Email matt@innocaption.com. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thanks, Matt. Have a
All
great
right,
day. Bye.
Thank you all so very much. You guys have a great day as well. Thank you.
So we have about a half an hour in our meeting. And one of the things that we've been doing since we've been doing part 1, part 2, now part 3 is wanting to know, what did you learn last time in part 2 that helped you during the time between when you were here last and when you're here today? Did anybody learn anything new? Was anything valuable happen to them? We want to give people an opportunity to be able to communicate that. Oh, so nobody wants to talk about that? That's okay. This is something that each one of us has. We all have problems with something, and we like to have some space so people have an opportunity to talk about some of the things that are the most problematic for them in the moment. Did anybody have any problems since our last meeting that they'd like to see if somebody in the room could possibly help them with? Or on Zoom? Does anybody on Zoom have something that they'd like people to address? Okay, we have some, Jim, we have 2 questions over here, comments.
Yes, last time you were talking about the TSA. We actually used that when we sent Louise, her sister-in-law, back to the airport. And it was very helpful. She was accommodated at the gate, got on the right plane this time, and was so that information was very helpful from last time. Thank you very much.
I'm so glad to hear that. Did she list herself as needing special assistance with her ticket?
I went up to the counter with her and explained to them the situation.
Okay, well, what I want everybody to know as well, when you make your reservation, there's a place that it says, and the question usually is, do you need special assistance? You absolutely always want to click that, because then it opens up at least 10 different scenarios of what you might have that you need assistance with. And unfortunately, our only option is it says deaf. It doesn't say deaf and hard of hearing. So you just have to bite the bullet and make sure that you select deaf. And what happens is that gets linked with your ticket. Okay, usually when they print out a boarding pass after that, it'll say deaf on it. So my understanding from a presentation I attended at the HLAA convention is if you say that you have special needs on when you make your reservation like that, if they're ever bumping people from a flight, you will never get bumped. And you know how terrible that is if you get bumped and you have hearing loss. It's the pits.
Yes, these reservations were already made, but we were not aware that you could do what you just said. And that's why I followed her to the counter and made sure that she was assisted at the gate and got
Okay,
there.
so that if somebody makes a reservation and then learns that you can do that, you can go back to your reservation and click that again.
That's also
If you
good.
go online, you can do that.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. think it's Julie, right?
I'm sorry, I wasn't here last meeting, so I know I don't know what to talk about, but I just want to let everyone know, I'm sure you're all members, but since I've had my hearing aid, I am so proud to tell all my friends, in my associates that I have this hearing problem. And they said, oh, never knew it. So I have become an advocate for hearing aids. And since then, about 5 of my friends got their hearing aids from Costco. So, I think we should not be embarrassed to announce to the world that we have that, because everybody can be helped too. So that's all.
Thank you very much for sharing that story and that you like your hearing aids. So some people are under the misconception that the hearing aids that we have today are like the hearing aids our parents had, and they're absolutely not the same thing. So in the era of our parents, they couldn't make adjustments to frequencies. So all they could do was adjust all the frequencies at one time. So they were all really basically amplifiers. And since the late 1990s, early 2000s, our hearing instruments are digital. So they can program each frequency that we have a problem with. Completely different ballgame. So if you hear anybody say, oh, well, my parents never wore theirs, say they aren't the same thing. And in California, we have a 45-day period that if you try hearing aids and you do not find that they help you, they are returnable with all the fees. Okay, so is there anybody else? Yes. Jim's coming with the microphone.
Frank and I just returned from a trip with OAT where you're in a bus a lot and they use a microphone. And what we have now are the hearing loops that help us. We put those on and so that we can hear what's being said. And that was really helpful. And we also talked to one of the people who was employed by OAT that was available to people who had hearing loss.
So what we're talking about is if you take a tour, tours are responsible to provide communication access for people with disabilities. Now, most of them have FM systems. And hang on a minute, what happens with an FM system is everybody has to have a receiver. It may look similar to this as a box. It can be smaller. It could even be round, but it's a receiver. And that receiver has an audio port on it. So if you didn't have a telecoil, you would use headphones. If you didn't have hearing aids, you would use headphones. So you plug the headphone into there and put it on, and the sound comes directly to you. If you have a telecoil, they give you what's called a neck loop. And imagine this cord right here. And if it came down like that, and then from the bottom here, there was an audio port. That audio port plugs into the receiver. You put the loop around your neck, and you have to let it hang down. You can't, if you hold this up, it doesn't work right. Let it hang down and put your hearing instrument in telecoil, and the neck loop creates a loop around your head that activates with the telecoil in your hearing instrument, and it's streamed directly to you. Thank you very much for sharing that.
You mentioned Costco. I've had 3 sets of Costco, loved them. Now all of a sudden, my other half says, you're not hearing everything. And I'm answering questions that you didn't ask. So finally, we know the Costco prices. I'm a money guy. So I went to a professional, got these new Phonak. Yeah. Have you heard of Phonak? Yeah. Oh, can you hear them?
Oh, so we have to, this is a whole learning process, and we want everybody to know how to do it. So please don't feel like we're picking on you.
Picking on me.
No,
I just,
With the microphone, what happens is, look at me. You go like this, and see, I have a microphone here. You go like that, we can't hear you. So you have to remember to speak into the microphone, not wave it around or whatever, okay?
thank you. I do a lot of presentations and I speak so loud. Usually I don't use a microphone at all. So I'm not used to this. My point is Costco, I loved them for 10, 15 years, but at some point, someone pointed out, I'm not hearing things. And I'm replying to you, my age, my whatever, my date of birth, which I shouldn't, and then on and on. So I got these phone act. Does anybody else have phone act or get graduate? I couldn't believe the price, but they work.
Okay, so Costco does not sell, oh, hearing aids are sold in ranges. And Costco does not sell any power or superpower aids. So if your hearing is mild to moderate, maybe moderate to a little severe, it might work perfectly. But once your hearing gets more profound than that, it's more difficult to fit. And we have an excellent audiologist in this room, right there, Eric Breitling, who many people in our chapter use and are very happy with. So if you decide at some time that you want to see an audiologist, Eric is here. If you decide sometime that your hearing has gotten worse and you want to explore other options, please go see an audiologist. Yes. Wait a minute.
I think just like our eyesight, we have our regular checkup once or every other year. My question to our doctor audiologist is it advisable to have our hearing checked how often?
Every year.
Every year.
For sure every year. But I want everybody in this room to know, getting hearing aids is not one visit. Getting hearing aids that are fitted appropriately are multiple visits. So when the hearing healthcare professional is programming your instrument, each manufacturer has an algorithm that they have created as a gauge. And your hearing healthcare provider will program your aids to the algorithm. Then what you need to do is, each one of us is unique. So we perceive sound differently. So you need to continue to go back to them and tell them situations that you don't like how it is. It could be you turn on a light switch and it sounds like, oh my gosh, that's so loud, you can't believe it. The water runs in the sink and you can't handle it. And you need to ask for real ear measurements. So each person's ear canal is shaped differently. And there's no way to determine if the sound that you want to be there is matching what the program on the computer is without real ear measurements. Okay?
If I could add to that, I got these Phonak, very pricey. I could have gotten them online for a lot less. They're going to ship them to me, plug them in, and you're fine.
No.
We went to an audiologist.
Yeah, no,
and
that's
she's
not.
spending
So
time with me. So
first of all, you can't sell prescribed hearing aids like that in California legally. So what you're talking about is, theoretically, if somebody programmed it to the algorithm based on your tone test, that's not a good hearing aid fitting. I know, so I got 2 cochlear implants during the pandemic. And before that, there were times I would go get an adjustment and the adjustment sent me through the roof. I had to come back 3 days later. But through time, you keep going to visit and you talk to them and they make the adjustments that are unique to you. There's no way fitting you straight to the algorithm if you have severe to profound hearing loss. Will you ever be satisfied? We have a question here. So please don't do that. If you do that, you're going to be the person who says these hearing aids don't work right.
And going back to the FM system,
Yes.
I can't safely assume that all tour guides have that machine.
No. Every time you go anywhere to do anything, you need to contact them, tell them, I have the disability of hearing loss. I cannot hear well. What communication access devices do you have?
If they say they don't have any, do I buy that through an audiologist?
No. If they say they don't have any and it's an American company, you find out who the company is and you write to them and say that they're violating your civil rights by not providing you with communication access, which is required by law.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Now, a caveat is we've had different members who have taken tours, and through the years, everybody learns more through time. And your ability to advocate for yourself gets better because you're more confident. So people then later started asking for tours and asking for things. And since I'm a dyed-in-the-wool advocate, they knew that all of my advocacy efforts aren't successful. And so what do you do then? So this one person asked, and the people she was asking said they didn't know. So then they were mulling around, whatever, it was an expensive tour. And she kept being persistent and finally went up different levels. And they said, oh, yes, the tour guides all have FMs. And then she was smart enough to know because she had a telecoil. And she said, oh, and I'm going to need a neck loop. And they said, oh, a neck loop, what's that? So she educated them about the neck loop. And then the next person she talked to, they said, oh, we have those too. So don't give up. Doesn't mean because the first person tells you something that they don't have it. Okay? Yeah. And if you want some moral support, I'm always here for everybody. Okay?
Well, I think you answered my question. The FM systems don't seem to work as well as the loop when you can connect to the T-coil. And they don't necessarily have to have the loop if they have the FM system.
No, you're mixing apples and oranges. So there are basically 3 different assistive listening systems. A hearing loop, which we have here, which is my favorite, and almost everybody I know with hearing loss, it's their favorite too. And the reason it's our favorite is because if you have a telecoil, you don't need anything else. You walk in, you take your seat, you pull out your cell phone, adjust the microphone to telecoil, balance. You're in control, and bingo, it works. With both an FM system and an infrared system, everybody needs a receiver. So everybody has to get a box. Okay. Now, I'm going to have a little caveat here. There are some hearing instruments that do have FM capability, but it generally does not work in what we're talking about. Okay, so I've covered that. So I don't want anybody to say that no hearing aids have FMs. So everybody needs a receiver. So your receiver is the box. Now, if you don't, the accessibility has to be for people no hearing instruments, people hearing instruments no telecoils, and people hearing instruments with telecoils. And who you are in that group determines what kind of connector is plugged into the audio port. So, no hearing aid, you have to use headphones. No telecoil, you have to use headphones, and headphones don't work well with hearing aids. They slide, unless you happen to have the headphone that has the great big round muff, that's not the kind that they're giving you in the theater and everywhere else. They slide around on your head. The sound for the headphones is made to go straight into your ear. The microphones for hearing aids are on the top. So that's all off. So that's why everybody wants a telecoil. That's why you need a telecoil. If you have a telecoil, the neck loop that would plug into here, and usually I have one. I just didn't, oh, maybe I have one here. Wait a minute. No, it plugs into the audio port. So what it is it's another kind of connector. And when that's plugged into the audio port and you activate your telecoil, the neck loop creates the loop that pairs with that connects, magnetically connects with the telecoil. Is that easier to understand?
Right. Do they all have to have that if they only have the headphones, which will not work with her? Do they have to have the loop, which would work?
The ADA standards in 2010 were changed to require hearing aid compatibility via neck loops. Yes, they're required to provide it.
Okay, we've run into many situations where they do not have that.
Well, you have to know to ask, and then your obligation from my perspective is you have to ask, you have to show them what they are, you have to follow up on it, and you have to be really persistent. You can show them the hearing aid compatibility ruling in the ADA. It's very clear. Okay?
Okay.
So the next time that comes up, if you want some support for your advocacy work, email me. Okay? Yeah, Jim.
Yeah, my comment is I've been in the situation where they've had them. It's just the person you're dealing with doesn't know what a neck loop is. And so you have to be insistent, and basically, yes, you do have them. And you can sometimes you just rummage around through their stuff and you go, this is what I need. And you show it to them, you explain to them what it is, and now you've had a teaching mode.
Okay. We're going to answer the questions. I just want to point out on the screen right now, these are 2 resources, actually 3 resources that are very helpful. The top 2 are reputable reviews of hearing aids and other information about hearing loss. And Tina Childress, my friend and colleague, is a lover of technology. She has a wonderful site. Anything you want to know is on her site. It's really lovely. And I want to make sure everybody sees these. Okay, so we had other questions in the room.
One of the easy solutions about the loop is buy your own. They're about $75.
No, that's not always right because all the neck loops aren't the same. So Listen Technologies has their current digital FM system. The neck loop is built into the receiver. Okay, sometimes they're not all the same. Okay, so sometimes it depends on what the port is on the device. Some of them now are stereo. So it's not a bad idea to have a neck loop as part of your toolkit. I'm not suggesting that. I just want everybody to know they're not all the same.
It worked well both on the airplane. We used an adapter because it was a stereo plug. And then for our whisper system on the tour, it worked fine. So I'm glad we had our own because they probably didn't have any.
Well, the whisper system does have neck loops. That's the most common system for tours. Okay.
I'm asking the question about the box. The box has another name for it? If I talk to my audiologist, will they know what a box is?
No. When I say, you mean this?
That.
No, this is a receiver.
Okay. Are you saying that we need to ask for it when we go on a trip?
Jim, can you help him, teach him how to use the
I
microphone?
know how to use the microphone.
Yeah, so the venue or the tour or whoever, they are required to provide you with the technology.
Right.
So they provide you with what?
Okay, so you're not saying we should purchase a neck loop or a box?
It's not, you need to learn, it's not a box, it's a receiver.
Receiver. Well,
Okay.
you've called it a box, that's why.
So it's not bad to have a neck loop. So as people with hearing loss, we need a toolbox. One of the pieces that goes in that toolbox is a pocket talker to use in emergency in case you had a terrible time with your hearing aids, didn't have your batteries, something happened. Otherwise, you may be deaf. So a pocket talker goes into that toolkit. A neck loop is not a bad idea to go into the
Where do you
toolkit.
purchase a neck loop?
Correct.
Where?
Online.
Okay,
Email me. I'll send you a link.
okay, thank you.
Williams Sound is one place that sells them. There's a lot of places that sell them.
Any more questions? Okay, I want to keep reminding everybody, this is an area that all of us are remiss about, and it's our personal safety. People with hearing loss cannot hear smoke and carbon monoxide detectors when you're asleep in enough time to wake up to save your life. There are special devices made for people with hearing loss. We're fortunate in California, we have California Connect, and they provide amplified and captioned telephones for us, and they also provide some accessories. Now, the piece that's important for you to know here is that the accessory that you're looking for in relationship to smoke and carbon monoxide is a hub. So if you see in the image on the screen, the box that has CO on it, and then there's another one that says smoke, both of those are hubs. And the state will provide the hub because it can alert you to when your telephone's ringing, and you need to buy the component that plugs into the hub to alert you to carbon monoxide and smoke. And so I happen to have the one that's on the top, and you can see there's a little piece like this. Well, that's a strobe light. So whenever that goes off, you would see that also on the screen, and it also makes noise. So obviously, without my processors, I can't hear the noise. I know it works because it listens for all sound. If I vacuum in my bedroom where I have this, it's going off. Okay. The one on the bottom is a newer version that the state is offering, and it's by a Swedish company called Bellman and Symphone. And I happen to adore their products because they're so super modern and clean. Okay. We have some announcements. First of all, I want everybody to mark their calendar for the Walk for Hearing. It is a fabulous, fabulous event. It's held in Alameda at Crown Point, I can't remember the full name. Anyway, it's right on the water. It is the most beautiful view of San Francisco you can ever imagine. So please mark your calendars. And June 10th through the 12th is the HLAA convention that's going to be in Louisville, Kentucky this year. We are a membership organization. We'd like to invite all of you to become members. Just go to our website and click on the membership tab. And you don't have to worry about having to pay extra money for you to use your credit card. There are no fees in relationship to using credit cards for us because we go through a company called Zephy. And Zephy provides free credit card usage for nonprofits. Upcoming meetings, I'm really happy to share with everybody. People have asked for a long time for canine companions to come, and they're coming. And so it's, if you've never seen a hearing dog before, it's, if you never knew there were hearing dogs, it's a wonderful opportunity. In May, we're having an audiologist from Sacramento who's on the HLAA board of directors give us a presentation about oral rehabilitation. And many of you may not have ever heard about that, but there is a process where you can teach yourself to hear, to listen better, to hear and discern better. And that's called oral rehabilitation, and it's recommended across the board for everybody. On June 6th, I'll be giving our presentation called Traveling with Hearing Loss, and in July, we'll have our picnic. So just to give you an idea of the upcoming events, I want to remind everybody that hearing loss is a disability. You need to advocate for your needs for hearing access. And this year, it'll be 36 years, I think that's correct, for the ADA. It's not something new. You obviously know that everybody's not informed about what our needs are and making it obvious what's available. Our meetings are the first Saturday of the month at 10 o'clock. Oh, I forgot to change the date, sorry. So we also are via Zoom. If something happens and you can't come to the meeting, please join us via Zoom. And all of this information is on our website. So the front page of our website, we decided we needed to make it the easiest for everybody to find our meetings because so many people in our peer group aren't very tech savvy. So we didn't want to have people have to look to figure out where that is. And this is how you can get a hold of us. We also have a YouTube channel, and most of our meetings since the beginning of the pandemic are on our channel. So if you missed something, you can go take a look. Does anybody have anything at the last minute they'd like to share?